Hello. What I'm going to start doing is reading chapters or sections of books that I think are relevant for our time or for what's going on instead of just reading one book throughout the whole first half of the month. And when I finish that chapter section, I'll move on to another book. I'm trying to get as many lessons in, as relevant lessons in as I can. So a lot of people are turning to faith in these hard times. And in the United States, a lot of people are Christians. So I figured I'd pull out my Lost Christianities and read about an interesting group of Christians called the Gnostics. So let's get into it. No form of Lost Christianity has so intrigued modern readers and befuddled modern scholars as early Christian Gnosticism. The intrigue is easy to understand, especially in view of the discovery of the Nag Hammadi library. When that group of field hands headed by Muhammad Ali uncovered this cache of books in Upper Egypt, the world was suddenly presented with hard evidence of other Christian groups in the ancient world that stood in sharp contrast with any kind of Christianity familiar to us today. There was no Jesus of the stained glass window here, nor a Jesus of the creeds, not even a Jesus of the New Testament. These books were fundamentally different from anything in our experience, and almost nothing could have prepared us for them. The Nag Hammadi Library. The library contained a wide array of books, many of them with understandings of God, the world, Christ, and religion that differed not only from the view of the proto-orthodoxy, but also from one another. There were new gospels recording Jesus' words, some of them containing his secret and truer teachings delivered after his resurrection from the dead, gospels allegedly written by his disciples Philip and John, the son of Zebedee, by his brother James, by his twin brother Thomas. Even though forged, these books were obviously written seriously and meant to be taken seriously, as providing a guide to the truth. So, too, the other books in the collection, including several different and internally diverse mystical reflections on how the divine realm came into being. Most of these documents assume that there was not only simply one God over all who had created the world and made it good. Some of them were quite explicit. This creation was not good, not in the least. It was the result of a cosmic catastrophe brought into being by an inferior and ignorant deity who erroneously imagined he was God Almighty. Such documents thus gave expression to what so many people over the course of history have known so well firsthand: the starving, the diseased, the crippled, the oppressed, the deserted, the heartbroken. This world is miserable, and if there is any hope for deliverance, it will not come from within this world through worldly means, for example, by improving the welfare state, putting more teachers in the classroom, or devoting more national resources to the fight against terrorism. This world is a cesspool of ignorance and suffering, and salvation will come not by trying to make it better, but by escaping it altogether. Some of the documents of the Nag Hammadi library not only express this view of the world, they also describe how such a world came into being in the first place, how we humans came to inhabit it, another cosmic catastrophe, and how we can escape. For many of these texts, this deliverance from the material world can happen only when we learn the secret knowledge that can bring salvation. Recall, gnosis is the Greek word for knowledge. Gnostics are the ones who know. Some of these texts, ones that are most clearly Christian in their orientation, indicate that Jesus is the one who brings this knowledge. But knowledge of what? It is not the kind of knowledge that one can attain by empirical observation and experimentation, not the knowledge of external phenomena and how to manipulate them. It is the knowledge of ourselves. Many of these texts preserve and present the view known to be held by groups of early Gnostics, that saving knowledge is knowledge of who we are and what we have become, of where we are and where we have been made to fall, of where we are hastening and from where we are being redeemed, of what birth is and what rebirth. According to this view of things, we do not belong here in this awful world. We have come from another place, the realm of God. We are trapped here, imprisoned, and we learn who we are and how we can escape. We can then return to our heavenly home. No wonder these expressions of Gnostic religiosity have struck a resonant note among modern readers, many of whom also feel alienated from this world, for whom this world does not make sense. Readers who realize in some very deep and significant way that they really don't belong here. For some groups of early Christian Gnostics, we in fact do not belong here. Our alienation is real, and this is not our home. We have come from above, and above we must return. Sounds a little bit like the five percenters, but only the great thing about the Gnostics is everybody can learn. Everybody can have a chance. Very interesting readings, very interesting concepts. So I'm going to be going through this chapter, and hopefully you can get as much out of it as I have. And so until next time, I want to thank you for your support, and I want to say take care of your mind, take care of your body, and be safe.